You know, one of the lessons life will eventually teach you, if you pay attention, is this. Not everything in your life is meant for public consumption. Your personal life is called personal for a reason. See, there's a tendency these days to overshare. We tell our plans to people who haven't earned our trust. We talk about our relationships with people who don't have our best interest at heart. We share our struggles with people who secretly celebrate our failure, and then we wonder why things don't work out the way we imagined. It's not about living in fear. It's about living in wisdom. It's about understanding that some things lose their power when spoken too soon, or to the wrong people. Privacy protects progress. Silence builds strength. And the less people know about your inner world, the less they can interfere with it. Some folks don't need to know what you're working on. Let your results speak. Some folks don't need to know what you're healing from. Let your peace. And some folks don't need to know who you love, what you earn, or what you dream of. Because not everyone will protect it like you will. They might not hate you. They just might not understand you. And misunderstandings in the wrong hands turn into manipulation. So be friendly. Be kind. Be professional. But be selective. You can be authentic without being transparent. You can be real without being revealing. And you can be open-hearted without leaving the vault door wide open. Life is too precious to let the wrong energy enter sacred spaces. So guard your world. Build quietly. Heal privately. Love deeply, but protect it fiercely. Let your growth be your loudest voice. Let your peace be your best defense. And remember, you don't have to share everything to live fully. Some treasures are meant to be hidden, not because you're hiding, but because you're growing. And growth doesn't need noise. Just spaced-out privacy protects your progress. Sharing too much too soon can weaken momentum. When you speak on something before it's ready, you invite opinions that were never needed. You allow energy to enter your process that doesn't belong. You give people the chance to doubt you, distract you, or drain you, all before you've taken your first full step. There's a reason seeds grow underground first. They need time. They need time. They need quiet. They need protection from what could crush them too early. Your goals, your healing, your transformation, they're no different. Some things are stronger when they're kept private, because not every eye sees clearly. Not every ear hears with compassion. Not every heart celebrates your rise, and it's not always out of hate. Sometimes it's just misunderstanding. Sometimes people project their fears onto your vision. They can't see what you see, so they try to shrink it down to what they can understand. And if you're not careful, you start shrinking with it. You begin second-guessing, not because you were wrong, but because someone else couldn't imagine it. That's why silence is not weakness. It's wisdom. Privacy is not avoidance. It's discipline. When you hold back from sharing too early, you're not being distant. You're being deliberate. You're building the roots before showing the fruit. You're strengthening the foundation before announcing the design. Because real growth doesn't need applause to happen. It just needs commitment. And sometimes your progress is fastest when it's quietest. You move with clarity, not noise. You focus with intensity, not validation. You create because it matters, not because anyone's watching. So don't rush to reveal. Let your work breathe. Let your vision stretch without judgment. Give yourself the space to grow without performance. Because when you do decide to speak, let it be your results that do the talking. Not everyone deserves access to your personal world. Trust must be earned. Your thoughts, your emotions, your struggles, your victories, they are not for public display. They are sacred. They are the inner landscape of your life, and not everyone is qualified to walk there. Sometimes we confuse being open with being vulnerable to the wrong people. What? We think that sharing everything will make us feel seen, but being seen by the wrong eyes only leads to being misunderstood, and being misunderstood can leave scars deeper than silence ever would. You don't owe everyone a seat at your inner table. Some people show up to learn you only to use what they find against you. Some will pretend to care just to collect details. Not everyone listens to support. Some listen to judge. Some listen to gossip. And some listen just long enough to shift the focus back to themselves. What? That's why you have to guard your world like it matters. 'Cause it does. Your peace, your progress, your perspective, all of it is too valuable to be handed out like free samples. You can be kind without being an open book. You can be caring without giving away your core. Let people prove themselves before they're invited into your trust. Let their consistency speak louder than their charm. Watch how they handle other people's stories before you offer them yours. If someone gossips with you, they will gossip about you. If someone dismisses your feelings once, they'll do it again. Your personal world deserves safety, not just attention. It deserves protection, not just presence. Because once someone enters your inner space, they leave fingerprints. They can inspire or infect, heal or harm, lift or lower. Lower. Choose wisely who gets that kind of access. Silence isn't cold, it's careful. Distance isn't rude, it's discerning. Every piece of your story isn't for every person you meet, and your trust should be earned, not assumed. So move with love, but guard your life. Oversharing leads to unnecessary judgment, drama, or sabotage. Not everything you feel needs to be said. Not every detail of your life belongs in someone else's hands. Because the more you share with the wrong people, the more you expose your life to voices that don't deserve to speak into it. You may think you're being honest. You may think you're just venting or connecting. But often you're giving people ammunition, and they'll use it when it benefits them. Some won't judge your words in the moment, but they'll remember them when it suits their agenda. Others may smile while you speak, then carry your story somewhere it was never meant to go. Oversharing doesn't make you more real. It makes you more vulnerable to misunderstanding. People can't always carry what you're trying to unload. They interpret based on their own pain, their own bias, their own limitations. And when your truth passes through their filter, it no longer sounds like you. It becomes a version shaped by their perception. That's how drama starts. One person tells another who twists it a little, and suddenly your truth is no longer your own. And when that ripple grows, it creates conflict that never needed to exist. Things that could have stayed peaceful become problems. Connections that could have stayed strong become strained. All because too much was said to too many too soon. Oversharing also kills mystery. It removes your power. When everyone knows everything, there's nothing left for them to respect, nothing to protect, nothing to wonder about. And sometimes what you reveal is used to quietly root against you. Not everyone wants you to rise, and the more they know, the easier it is to pull you back down. So be wise with your words. Your feelings are valid, but not everyone deserves access to them. Your pain is real, but not everyone deserves to witness it. Your dreams are powerful, but not everyone is ready to hear them. Speak when it's safe, share when it's earned. And remember, not every emotion needs an audience. Let results, peace, and growth speak louder than your words. In a world full of noise, silence backed by progress is powerful. You don't have to announce every move. You don't need to prove anything to anyone with explanations or declarations. Let your actions speak for you. Let your work reveal what you're about. Because words are easy. Promises are cheap. Talk impresses in the moment. But results last. People may doubt what you say, but they can't deny what you build. They can argue with your opinion, but they can't argue with your outcome. So instead of convincing people, become undeniable. Let the discipline you show every day be your statement. Let the peace you carry in chaos be your strength. Let the growth you achieve behind closed doors be your quiet roar. You don't have to explain why you're moving differently. You don't have to defend your decisions when they come from clarity. Peace is a sign you're walking in alignment, and peace speaks volumes, even when you don't. People will notice. They'll sense the difference in how you show up. They'll feel your energy shift. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove. You just need to rise. Progress has a language of its own. Growth makes noise without saying a word. And peace, real peace, that can't be faked. So stop chasing validation and focus on elevation. Stop responding to every critic and start responding to your purpose. The truth is, most people don't want an explanation. They want evidence. So give them that. Show them what consistency builds. Show them what patience creates. Show them what self-control produces. You don't have to flex when you're fulfilled. You don't have to shout when you're stable. You just have to keep becoming who you were meant to be, and let the life you build speak louder than anything you ever said. Healing and building are best done in quiet. Silence creates strength, not because you're hiding, but because you're protecting something sacred. When you're healing, the noise of the world becomes a distraction. Too many voices, too many opinions, too many questions. They pull you away from your own clarity. Healing is personal. It's not a performance. It doesn't need applause and it doesn't need approval. It just needs honesty, time, and space. And that space is found in silence. The kind of silence where you finally hear your own heart, where you process, reflect, and reset without interference. When you're building something new, a life, a dream, a better version of yourself, noise can become pressure. It can create doubt before the foundation is even set. But in quiet, you can move without judgment. You can make mistakes without an audience. You can try again without fear of embarrassment. You're not worried about who's watching. You're focused on what you're creating. Where real strength is built, not on stages, but in solitude, not in approval, but in alignment. And the people who are always seeking the spotlight often miss the foundation. They rush to show something before it's ready. They speak of healing while still bleeding. They talk about building while skipping steps. But true growth requires patience, and patience requires silence. There's something powerful about quietly rising. There's something steady about healing without the need to be seen. It's not about being secretive. It's about being selective, protecting your process so it has room to grow. Not every wound needs to be explained. Not every step needs to be shared. Sometimes the most powerful transformation is the one that happens when no one is watching. So take your time, stay quiet, and let silence shape your strength from the inside out. Authenticity doesn't require full transparency. Be real, not reckless. You don't have to share everything to be true to who you are. You don't have to open every door just to prove you're honest. Being authentic means being genuine, not being exposed. It's knowing what to show and what to protect. It's speaking from the heart, but also knowing when silence serves you better. Some confuse authenticity with oversharing. They think that to be real, you have to be raw all the time. But wisdom says different. You can be sincere without spilling everything. You can be vulnerable without becoming an open wound. Being real isn't about giving people full access. It's about showing up with integrity. It's about consistency in your actions, truth in your intentions, and courage in your choices. But it's also about discernment. Some truths are meant for trusted spaces. Some emotions are meant for reflection, not display. There's a strength in knowing the difference. There's a power in keeping parts of yourself sacred. When you're reckless with your truth, you open it up to misunderstanding, to misuse, to judgment. Not everyone knows what to do with your honesty. Some will twist it, some will exploit it, and some will simply not be ready for it. That's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to protect your energy. Being authentic doesn't mean you let everyone in. It means you show up as yourself. Even if that self is still healing, still growing, still learning. You can be open without being unguarded. You can be honest without being exposed. You can be expressive without being careless. True authenticity is thoughtful. It's intentional. It knows that being real doesn't mean being reckless with your story. You have every right to keep parts of yourself private. You have every right to choose who sees what. Your truth is yours. Share it with wisdom, not to perform. Not to impress, but only when it aligns with your peace, your timing, and your purpose. The wrong ears can twist your truth. Not everyone understands your journey. You may speak from a place of honesty, but it doesn't guarantee others will hear it with clarity. Your truth passes through their filters, their fears, their assumptions, their wounds. And when that happens, your message can come out looking nothing like what you intended. You can say something simple and sincere, and it gets turned into something else, something smaller, something suspicious, something unrecognizable. That's the danger of handing your story to people who haven't earned it. They don't know your heart. They don't know your struggle. They don't know the road you've walked or the reasons behind your choices, so they judge from a distance. They assume from a surface view, and in doing so, they damage something they never took the time to understand. It's not that your truth isn't valid. It's that it was shared in the wrong direction. Not every conversation is a safe one. Not every listener is a supporter. Some are just spectators. Some are waiting to twist your words into entertainment. Others are looking for weak spots to exploit. And a few, even if they mean well, just don't have the depth to grasp where you're coming from. That's why you must be careful who you open up to. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Because when the wrong ears catch the right truth, damage can follow. They might repeat it with the wrong tone. They might share it without context. They might retell it with their own bias. And suddenly, your truth becomes a rumor. Your story becomes a spectacle. And your name carries a version of you that isn't even real. You don't owe everyone access to your journey. You don't need to explain yourself to be at peace with yourself. Protect your voice, protect your path, and protect your truth from those who aren't ready to receive it with respect. Being selective with information is a form of wisdom, not secrecy. It's not about hiding, it's about protecting. There's a difference between being private and being deceitful. You're not lying when you choose silence. You're choosing peace. You're choosing clarity. You're choosing to honor your journey without putting it up for display. Not everyone needs to know everything, and not everything needs to be explained. When you're selective with your words, you stay in control of your story. You don't leave room for misinterpretation. You don't invite unnecessary opinions. You don't give people the power to carry your truth in careless hands. Because once something leaves your mouth, it can be twisted, shared, misunderstood, or used against you. That doesn't mean you live in fear. It means you live with intention. It means you choose who gets access to the deeper parts of your life. Some people haven't earned your trust. Some situations don't require your vulnerability, and some moments are better kept between you and your growth. People often mistake silence for distance. They think if you're not sharing, you're not real. But real doesn't always speak. Real listens. Real observes. Real observes. Real waits for the right time and the right space to speak. And wisdom knows that timing is everything. You can ruin a good thing by sharing it too soon. You can weaken your strength by announcing it before it's built. Being selective is how you stay strong while you're still growing. It's how you keep your power while you're still healing. It's how you build without interruption. The people who are meant to know will know. The ones who truly see you will respect your silence. And those who pressure you to overshare often aren't listening to understand. They're listening to react. So choose what you share. Choose who you trust. And know that wisdom is often quiet, not because it has nothing to say, but because it knows the value of when and how to say it. Your personal life is sacred. Protect it like a treasure. Not everything about you is meant to be public. Not every emotion, every relationship, every plan, or every moment needs to be shared. Some things gain strength in silence. Some things grow better when hidden from noise, judgment, and distraction. Your personal life is the core of your peace. It's where you process, where you heal, where you build. And if you open it up to everyone, you risk letting in energy that doesn't belong. You risk letting in voices that confuse instead of clarify. People can only see from their level of perception. So when you expose sacred parts of your life, they'll interpret them through their own bias, through their wounds, their fears, or even their envy. And before you know it, what was once pure becomes polluted by outside opinions. What was once steady becomes shaken by unwanted influence. That's why you must treat your personal life like treasure, because not everyone handles treasure with care. Some want to admire it. Some want to take it. And others want to destroy it simply because they can't have it. Privacy is protection, not secrecy. Protection. It's saying this is mine. This matters. And not everyone has earned access. You have every right to keep parts of your world just for you. You have every right to protect your peace without apology. Just because someone is curious doesn't mean they deserve answers. Just because someone is close doesn't mean they're safe. It's okay to draw boundaries. It's okay to keep sacred things sacred. Things sacred. You don't need to prove your openness by exposing your soul. You can be kind and still keep your circle small. You can be honest and still keep some things private. Because when you value something, you guard it. When something is sacred, you protect it. Not because you're ashamed, but because you understand its worth. And your personal life, your relationships, your dreams, your process, they are worth that protection. Growth thrives in stillness, not in noise. Keep evolving in silence. True transformation doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need to be announced. It doesn't ask for attention. It asks for consistency, reflection, and time. Noise is tempting. It gives the illusion of progress. It makes you feel like you're moving forward just because people are watching. But growth isn't measured by how loud you are. It's measured by how deeply you change when no one's looking. The real work happens in quiet moments. The real shifts happen when the world is still and you're left alone with your choices. Silence gives you space to think, space to process, space to make honest adjustments. In the stillness, you hear what matters. You recognize your habits. You confront your excuses, and you begin to rebuild from the inside out. Noise can distract you. It can pull you into comparison. It can make you perform instead of progress. But silence keeps you centered. It keeps you grounded in purpose. You don't need to post every improvement. You don't need to explain every change. Let your life reveal it in time. Let your energy shift. Let your results speak. Because the most powerful evolution is the one that surprises people. The one that didn't need a warning or a spotlight. You just show up one day, clearer, stronger, wiser. And they wonder how it happened. It happened in silence, in the stillness where you chose discipline over distraction, where you prioritized becoming over being seen. The deepest roots grow underground, invisible to the eye, but strong enough to hold the future. Be like that. Grow where no one can see. Evolve where no one is clapping. Build where no one is looking. And when the time is right, the world will see the strength that silence produced. So guard your silence. Protect your stillness. Not as a shield of fear, but as a space for transformation. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't have to be seen to be evolving. Because the most powerful growth doesn't announce itself. It shows up in who you become. Keep growing. Keep building. And let the silence shape a strength that speaks for itself when the time is right.